So you don't feel like you're missing out on some of the things when it comes to, the privileges that you get as a man who great
privileges.
As a man who is, in the limelight.
Yeah.
You obviously have definitely gotten approached by all types.
All types.
Outside Nigeria, because I mean, your people watch you
They slide
around
in my DM,
around Africa.
Man. They slide in my DM.
So okay.
And
they,
I said
obviously
to them,
they do.
yeah,
So
and I'm very gracious. First
Yes.
and foremost, I'm like, you know what? I am humbled that you see me that way. And I'm just not going to mess you around. You get that? I don't see how that will work. Ultimately, you get it. So you just don't want to put yourself in those situations because at the end of the day, everybody recognizes this is a therapy. Once you're horny, it's off. I promise you now, and I don't know if we can say this, but let me say this straight up. Once you have sex, once you're done, at that point in time, it's like, okay, so what was this all about? What was this all about? Unless it is with clarity. That person you care about so much. Okay. So I don't care what you see as a man. As men, we're very visual. Oh, great shape. Oh, Manchester. Oh, Arsenal. You will see so many of them go past you. Go past you. So how many do you want to? How many? A man should have some modicum of self-respect. You get that? Because you like it or not, it's just your eyes deceiving you. I promise you. Once that goes past, that feeling goes past, you're back to, so what was this all about? I don't want to be there, man.
So you were married at what stage in your career?
In fact, I was married at the stage where I hadn't really attained anything.
Really?
No.
Okay.
So it was just gradual. I was in modeling then, and it hadn't really gotten. I wasn't well known, so to say.
Okay.
So it was just a few things here and there, a few jobs here and there, a few calendar jobs we do, nothing major. So my wife met me at that point where I would say I wasn't really well recognized. Okay. And even when I was doing some fashion show, I remember one time I took her to a fashion show on the island here. And I took her backstage. And she saw us all guys and girls all together undressing. It was a shock for her. Like wow. You're not wearing anything. Yeah. You're just changing in front of people because that's not her thing. Yeah. My wife is very, very reserved. Okay. I'm like, yeah, that is what happens. All right? But we're here to work. You're not seeing anybody undressing and they're thinking, oh, what's going on there? Ooh, look at that. No.
So at the early stages while you were married, being married just as you were just about to be thrust into the limelight. Right? Uh-huh. What obviously, because you gave some very insightful messages here. You said something very deep, and I'm pretty sure some men out there who are watching are thinking, this is something I should embody. So did you find yourself, to find yourself in this position mentally? Did something happen?
So I would say I was built up into that. Built up in the sense that, so I had a mentor. I'm very big on my faith. Okay. And that guides me a lot. And I wasn't really, a home person. Okay. I was an outgoing guy, always out there. And by virtue of my faith, that kind of mellowed me down a bit. Okay. And start to see better because you have to take responsibility. I'm a first of 9 children. Okay. Yeah, and my folks are all there. So there are so many people to look out for if you know what our setting is all about. So by virtue of my faith, I can't just be jumping out, up and down everywhere. I'm not permitted to. I told you again, I hold myself accountable. All right, and I also make myself accountable to people. There are people who look up to me. There are people who are learning from me. Have you had a few indiscretions? I'm a man, yes. Not a big deal. I've done that, and I have hated myself for it. And hence why I said, that was how the clarity came. So what was this all about for? What was this all about for?
So the clarity came when the indiscretions happened, and you said to yourself, was this worth it?
It wasn't worth it at all. And if the last thing you want to do with a woman, especially the woman you live with, your wife, is take her to a point where she can't trust you. Okay. Nah, man, it's a mess. I thrive on being trusted and me being able to trust. And if I don't have that, of what use is your life? If you go to a brand and all that stuff, hence why, if you're saying, oh, we don't see any, I was doing a few things with Joseph Yobo. a former captain of the Super Eagles. And for every time I talk to brands, I said, you are seeing the first centenarian, the first player, Nigerian player, to hit 100 caps. Very importantly, there is no scandal around him. You know, I didn't know how big of a deal that was, but that has a lot to do with your everyday choices and decisions you take. So, for instance, my Monday to Sunday is so predictable. I promise you. You call anybody and say, at this point in time, where do you think Mozez will be? I will tell you, this is where I meet. Now, has there been a few details? Yeah, of course. So, for instance, every Tuesday, they know I have to, you know where I have to be. But then again, meeting you here is a bit of a detour.
Yes.
But then to where I'm going. Keep your life that simple. And I think that's what I've done for so many years. And
of course,
it's just easier for me that way.
It's evidence with how, you've been able to just shape yourself in such a way that I'm pretty sure a lot of people coming up, TV presenters, radio presenters, anybody that's even in media, even in sports, they look at Mozez Praiz and say, he has the formula. Think
about it. My daughter said to me, I mean, it's a youth event and all that, somebody came. Joseph Yobo was the one that actually came. I invited him. He didn't know that was my daughter. I said, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? So I want to be like my dad. And you like it or not, I don't care what anybody feels about LeBron James and his son playing together. And, whatever it is you want to say about that, that's legacy right there.
Facts.
The joy of any parent or any father, most importantly, I'm talking father, is that your child chooses to want to be like you, to want to step into your shoes. Because in the real sense of it, there is no success without a successor.
I love that. On that note, we take another break. And of course, we get to the last lap with the great boss himself. Stay with us for Barroom Therapy. Back to Barroom Therapy. The gray boss, Mozez Praiz. Also, he mentioned as well, I think maybe we should start adding that as well. Mozez, the gray boss, Salt. Praiz.
How did Salt get into this?
No, because, I like what you said earlier. You said something about, as opposed to just trying to be, just overwhelmed by the limelight. You would prefer to be someone who rather impacts and is like, just as Salt has many usages, you'd rather just have that and be that type of person.
Even in your bar, I'm sure you have a few Salt.
Oh, of course. Just
and imagine what that does. You
absolutely. Just it's like a little mixture with the ice, just to give it like a nice.
But nobody sees that, right? But we see everything here.
It's all there. So I like that you said that, and in knowing that, in the way you also mentioned, like your family being the first of being one, not the first of nine.
First of
the
nine.
First of nine. Having so many responsibilities. I can't imagine, obviously, how your childhood must have been.
Woo-wee.
You know what I mean?
It was tough.
All right, so let's know how.
I'm gonna try and do this in 2 minutes. It was tough. It was we lacked a lot. It was hard. Every time we think about it, the family gathers, we ask them, what were you thinking? Littering the whole place. And you can't afford it. So I grew up a very tough upbringing, and I think I've shared this a few places where, so when I said this one time, people thought I was lying. I'm like, no, man. It was so hard. I used to walk to school because whatever it is they gave me as money to eat, it wasn't anything. So I'll buy chewing gum and walk from a school that's a Baptist Academy. I lived in Ebutemeta, so walk from Ebutemeta to Obanikoro and back. Yes. And I would chew that gum till in the night, because then you only guarantee to eat at night. Wow. Possibly. So it was ridiculous. And when I finished secondary school, at some point they kicked us out of our houses a lot. My dad would just pay for first year, and we couldn't afford it. Then they kick us out. We'll go hang with our grandma till we find a new place. Until I decided, you know what, I'm going to stay with my grandma. And when I finished secondary school, I saw a friend of mine who worked at a car wash in Lagos, Costain there, Buries. I said, hey, take me through, let me go, I said, sure, why not? And I went. We have lovely cars now. Cars, they were horrible because you get cuts and stuff. Wow. So I did I washed cars and downfalls and all of that for a living. And during the week, you make about 30, 40 naira. Weekends when you're rich, you make 60, 70 naira. You get that. So it's basically money to eat. And that's just the truth. I sold chin-chin, we bought detergents and tied it. And for my mom, I did all of that. We go on the street, sold all of that. And then just before I got into Polytechnic, I had a friend of mine who was working at a restaurant. I said, hey, dude, can you help me out here? And I was like, sure. Took me to the restaurant. Yeah. They could only find a place in the kitchen to wash the dishes. Okay. And I gladly took that. You know, so once they bring plates back with remnants, I said, oh, please, can I take this remnants home for my dog? I did. I was the dog. I ate people's remnants.
Oh, wow.
Even before then, when we were much younger, we go on the streets because then parties were done on the streets. So like now you have event hall and all of that. Okay. Parties were done on the streets. So we go there and say, we can help you wash your plates. I say, sure, why not? So we help them clear the table. So you're looking for that table where, you know, they didn't finish the food, so you can hustle it. Yeah. You hustle the whole thing, put it in a bag, so you're taking it to your dogs. I was the dog.
Wow.
I ate people's remnants, you know. And I'm saying that's why, till date, you can't waste food in my house. When food is dished, I don't care if you're a visitor. When we dish your food, we ask you, can you finish it? And you're like, yes. And you're eating it, you can't finish it? No, you finish it. You will finish it. So before you take a spoon, you take what you don't want out and stuff. I hate wasting food. I don't like it at all. I think it's actually a bad mentality to be able to waste food. So it was very rough. You know, there was lack. The day I knew things were bad was when I took my rubber shoe to the Malam to sew for me. And he pursued me back. I said, Malam pursued me for my shoe. Because it was like, I should go buy another one. He was tired of sewing it.
Wow.
Yeah. People invited me for parties I couldn't attend. I said, my mom won't let me go. No, because I didn't have what to wear. I really didn't have what to wear. That's the honest truth. So it was for lack. There was nothing really, you know. But if there's anything we had was my mom was so good at keeping us together. She sings poems to us. So all the poems I know is through my mom. You know, she sings until we sleep, and then she goes make a plan. She's amazing. I have to give that to her.
Shout out to.
So it was a tough upbringing, really tough, and. It was when I got into school, that was Polytechnic, I decided, you know what, I'm not going to bug them anymore. And I had to look out for myself. And for some weird reason, the ladies kind of liked me. I didn't know how to say
weird. Did you say weird reason?
It was weird.
I mean, come on, you're a good-looking man. You know, so
well, that's the thing. I never walked around with that sense of, hey, you know what? And I know guys who are like, you know what? Yeah. You know, like, no, I never walked around that way. You know, so it was weird for me because I've had ladies who will approach me and then in school and were like, oh, you know, like me and stuff. I'm saying, you know what, I need to pay my school fees. That's what's on my mind. I've paid my school fees, but I'm just saying that so she leaves me. Yeah. She travels, comes back, this is the school fees, what's next? You understand? I said to someone, oh no, I have this girlfriend. She's like, what are you talking about? What about this one, that one, that one? I'm like, oh, so you know. So what are you looking for? So I was the ladies' man. You know, I was a popular person in school. Like I was known in the whole community, in Erua. So it was... That kind of looked after me. So for a year, they didn't see me. They sent my brother down. Like
to say,
go check in on him. Do we still have a child? You know, and he came in, and we had a good few times and all that stuff. He brought in a few things for me. Okay. I gave him double of it to go back home with money. Why? I was living large. You know, so
how are you doing it?
I don't know, man. To be honest, I was a sportsman again. Okay. Okay. It's still so. My sports coach is not too particularly happy that I didn't go professional. I had the opportunity. Yeah, I had the opportunity.
What were you good at?
Football.
Really?
But beyond that, I was playing football. I was a good basketball player. I did sprints. I did shot put, long jump, high jump, triple jump, all of them with laurels. So it's not like I'm telling you, I have laurels. I can show you the certificate of everything I won.
So like an all-round sports
I was an all-round sport. It doesn't come surprise because then my folks also were sports people, even paid for their school fees at some point in time. All my younger ones are sports people, but football is my main thing. And hence that made me even more popular, you know, in school and all. And I guess, you know, everybody wants to be with a popular guy.
Oh, I mean, typically. So the jockey, I mean, if you were in an American school, you'd have like your jacket and everything.
Jacket, exactly, all of that.
But because you were grounded, obviously you would have been able to.
No, definitely.
So how were you charging for, you know, to make this money, or did you just say, look, I have so many girls, I have to make money somehow. All right, let me just be like, you know, well, I'm gonna take you on a date, but you know how much you got?
No,
how much do you have?
I think they were more than willing to offer me anything.
Okay.
It was voluntary.
It was just, like, hey,
it was voluntary.
Money.
So
did you date more than one? Because,
I did.
Because, I mean, you had to get paid, though.
No, not because I wanted to get. I just didn't know how to say no.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just a dumb, stupid guy. I didn't know how to say no. I thought it would, hurt their feelings and stuff, It's different with this Mozez Praiz, of course, for many years now. Like, I could literally say, hey, what's that nonsense? Move away. And I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care how you feel about it.
Because after a while, you get numb to all the approaches.
Dude, no, but that, I mean, that's as if you come straight up. And of course, if you come straight up, I'm like, yeah, that's nice. I really appreciate that. But no. And I've done that a whole lot of times. And again, this is not to like, gloat or anything. I have the utmost respect for ladies who are bold enough to walk up to you and say, this is how I feel about you. Utmost respect.
Okay.
But you got to learn how to put them down nicely. Okay. You understand? So they don't feel some type of way.
Because feel... some women can't handle rejection.
Oh, no.
Did I say some? Let me rephrase.
Most of them. Most of them. So just leave it as it is. So at that time in school, I mean, if a lady decides, you know what, I'm not interested in them, I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I didn't invite you.
Wow.
I didn't invite you. I just didn't know how to handle it then. I wasn't intelligent at all.
You can imagine. But hey, one thing we appreciate is the fact that with your experience, with what you've been through, your upbringing, and just how you've been able to just understand what your purpose is in life.
Yes.
And I'm very sure there are a lot of young, upcoming people in sports and people in grassroots who understand that Mozez Praiz is here for a true cause. We're grateful for your entire experience, including the tough times growing up that, probably, because I can imagine if you didn't experience that, you would have been either a pimp or maybe, maybe you would have been a drug lord, or, who knows, if you hadn't experienced any of that.
Every of the things you're saying, you're right, actually. It was a possibility. But I think the crossroads for me was 1997 when I met my mentor, who doubles also as my pastor. And it was just a whole turnaround and just finding who I was.
Who's your mentor?
His name is Praiz.
Okay.
Praiz. And he gave me books to read on potential. And of course, I had to start reading the Bible every day, which I still do till today. Awesome. Till today. And you must give feedback, So I do that with my daughter also. Every day, she's in university. You send me your feedback from your Bible reading. You know why? Because human as a tripartite being, you are a spirit that has a soul, lives in the body. Yes. But what we do most times is invest on the body. So you're very particular about your image, what you look like, but you forget that by the time you drop dead, that spirit is going somewhere. And that spirit was sent here for a purpose, for a reason. So it's very important that you fit that spirit so you can clarify why you're here. You understand? 3 things God didn't give us, because we have the right to choose whatever it is we want to choose. Yeah. Nobody has that, not even the angels. But 3 things He didn't give us the right to choose over. The country you come from. I don't know about you. Many of us would have gone to Canada. Many of us would have been in Australia or somewhere.
Not ruling that out.
You understand? The country you come from, the ethnic group you come from. Because you like it or not, I don't mind being in some particular ethnic group, because there's some cliches that come with others. Yeah. And the family you come from. Say what you want to about, whoever, Basanjo or whatever. I don't mind being a South. I know I'm Southern, kind of. So all of those things He didn't give you a choice over. Why? Because He has a definite purpose for that life. And until you find that purpose, oh my word, you're going to be running helter-skelter. You'll be driven by ambition. You've been driven by every trend, every fad, and at the end of the day, you've got billions in your account, but you are so lost. Vacuum in your life, and you're like, I want to commit suicide. Purpose is what you need. And I think that's what has guided me. Hence why, at the end of the day, if I drop dead today, what would be said about me? That's important to me. And what would be said about me is, I impacted life as salt.
And that right there, that's it. That's that line. I impacted life as salt. And that would be, many, many years in the future, decades, on the gravestone, Mozez Praiz. He impacted life as salt. And on that, I wrap it up for Baron Therapy. You have been an amazing guest. And
Thank you.
It's, I mean, no wonder you live such an amazing life. And
Thank
obviously,
you so much.
we're grateful for it. We're grateful for the man that you are, the man that you will be, and of course, the lives that you will impact. Thank you so much for coming through.
I'm honored, Shola. A pleasure.
Thank you. And on that note, we wrap it up for Barroom Therapy again for another exciting episode. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for watching.